Okay, this lesson still ties into the culture unit of human geography, but I kind of have a breakout section where I talk just about religions, and so that's what this one is. Your key topic today is religions. Your essential question, what are the major world religions and where are they located? That's what we're going to be looking at today. We're going to break down what these religions are, and then we're going to look at where they're located in the world so that when we cover those units, you already know about those religions and we don't have to go back over them. First thing I want to get at is why do we have religions in the world? There's some reasons here. First is it enables people to have a sense of identity of where they are, why they're living. Another one is it influences the daily lives of people, gives them moral values, influences their holidays, their festivals, those sorts of things. And also a lot of religions give meaning of life and give you a purpose for living. Main thing here with religions of how it fits into our curriculum is throughout history, religion has driven history. Okay, what I mean by that is there's been many wars fought over religion. There's been many economical issues that are fought over religion. There's been many countries break away and have civil wars because of religion. And still today, like in the Middle East, you see fighting going on and you see bombing and you see all of these religions break out of these areas. And the fundamental reason behind all this is religion. So you understand, if you can understand religion, you can kind of understand some of the conflicts that's going on in the world today. Now, in our curriculum, there are 7 major world religions. This is not an all-encompassing list of those 7, and this is not saying that there's only 7 religions in the world, but there's 7 major world religions that we are going to cover according to the state of Texas standards. The first of those, and these are in no particular order, is Christianity. Christianity began about 2,000 years ago, and it's based on the teachings of Jesus. The followers, those after Jesus' crucifixion, who kept teaching the people, were known as the apostles or the disciples. These are the peoples that carried on the message of Christianity after Jesus was crucified. The holy book of Christianity is the Bible, and then it is a monotheistic faith. Each one of these religions that we are going to cover today has symbols with them. The most prominent one with Christianity is the cross because of Jesus' crucifixion. This associates that this faith is different than Judaism because this faith is dealing with the Messiah or the teacher of Jesus and how he was crucified on the cross. Because the cross itself is a symbol of torture, and so for people outside of the faith, it can kind of be confusing. Another one that you sometimes see is the Christian fish, my necklace. Okay? The reason that we use the Christian fish, or that Christianity uses the Christian fish, is thousands of years ago in Rome, Christians were being persecuted. They couldn't openly come up to each other and say, hey, are you a Christian? So we can talk about Christianity. So what they would do is, you would walk up to somebody with a stick, and in the sand, you would draw this arc. And if they looked at you like you were crazy, you knew you could turn around and walk away because that person wasn't a Christian. But if that person then went through and finished it into the fish, you knew that person was a Christian, and then you could then go somewhere and talk in private about Christianity. So that's where the fish comes from. Next major world religion that we're going to talk about is Islam. Islam, they refer to it's a monotheistic faith, meaning there's one God. They refer to their God as Allah. Worshippers of Islam are known as Muslims. Muhammad is their prophet. Around 600 A.D., Angel Gabriel came down to Muhammad on a rock and told him about the new way that the people were supposed to go as he was kind of meditating in the rocks in a cave. Angel Gabriel came down around 600 AD and told him how the world was supposed to go and that he was going to lead this new faith that would then convert a bunch of people. Within Islam, there's 5 major pillars. These pillars are dealing with your faith, that you must profess Muhammad as your prophet, dealing with the giving of alms, which is kind of giving of charity, dealing with fasting during Ramadan, dealing with praying 5 times a day, facing Mecca, and then the 5th one is the Hajj. If it permits, medicine-wise, if you can get there, you're supposed to take a pilgrimage to Mecca so you can see the piece of the rock of the Kaaba that Angel Gabriel came down on to deliver the message to Muhammad. We will talk about Mecca and the Kaaba later. Their symbol is the half-crescent moon, and a lot of times you see the star. So on a lot of countries' flags, if you see the half-crescent moon, that's them saying that we are a Muslim nation, an Islamic nation. The next major world religion that we're going to look at is Buddhism. Siddhartha Gautama founded Buddhism thousands of years ago. Buddhism believes in reincarnation, which is the idea that when you die, you will come back as something else. Buddhism sinks down into animals as well. If you die and you're bad, you may come back as a snake and eat dust for the rest of your life until you're reincarnated again. But it's this cycle that keeps going after death, that you're going to come back as something else. Their major religion, or their major book are the sutras. The Quran is the major holy work of Islam. I forgot that one. But the sutras, there's really not an official book, but the sutras is the term referred to the readings that they do within Buddhism. There are no gods in Buddhism, so it is not poly or monotheistic. In fact, some people refer to this as more of a philosophy than a religion because of this. There are 4 noble truths within Buddhism. I'm not going to go over them with you, but these are explaining life's meaning. There's an 8-fold path, which is the path that each Buddhist must follow. If you follow the 8-fold path, you will finally reach nirvana, which is not a rock band in Buddhism. Nirvana is dealing with getting out of this endless cycle of reincarnation. Okay? Their symbol here, you might see this from Mahatma Gandhi. He came up with this symbol, but it's kind of like a pinwheel. Kind of looks like a Ferris wheel to us, but it's talking about this endless cycle of life. The next major world faith that we're looking at is Hinduism. Hinduism is very, very polytheistic, many gods, thousands of gods. Origin, we're not real sure. We don't know when it started. It's so old, was it wrote down? They believe in reincarnation. Their reincarnation comes through more of the caste system, which is this caste that you're put in, a social class that you're put in, and you can't move up and down in this life. The only way to move up and down in the caste system is by dying and being reincarnated. We'll get to that when we get to South Asia. They have a river that is sacred to them known as the Ganges River. They believe that anything that is put in this river will be purified, so it is highly polluted. It's very sad what they're doing to the Ganges River. You might have heard of the term karma. Karma comes from Hinduism, and it's dealing with reincarnation. How you are reincarnated, going up or down, depends on your karma, depends on how you were as a person in this life. So depending on how you were will depend on how high you go. The idea is to finally reach this priestly class and then to stay there. That's the idea within Hinduism. Another major world religion is animism. Animism is one of the world's very first religions. And the idea of animism is that things in nature have their own spirit. So it's kind of like a worship of spirits within nature. Some places in the world, like in Japan and Shintoism, it's a worship of kind of ancestors. Now my symbol, there's really not a symbol because this is kind of a general idea, a general look at some different faiths. I tried to draw like a Native American with a headdress. You know, sometimes you see like the coyote on the head and then it didn't work out. But you can kind of refer to this as that Native American chief. The next major world religion that we're going to look at is Judaism. Judaism is a monotheistic faith. They believe in an invisible but a powerful God. Their major holy work is the Torah. In Christianity, this is the Old Testament. They don't believe in the New Testament because according to Judaism, the Messiah has not come yet. Their leader was Moses. Moses delivered the people out of slavery when they lived in Egypt into the Promised Land. That's kind of the beginning of Judaism, kind of one of the first leaders of Judaism, of the Hebrew people that eventually became known as the Jews. And the 10 Commandments were given. This was their way that they were supposed to live their life, or they're still around, the way they're supposed to live their life. And their symbol is the Star of David. The next major world religion that we're going to look at is Sikhism. Sikhism is predominantly found within northern India. You can kind of take the term that we looked at in the last unit of cultural assimilation, of how cultures look similar to each other, because they are a monotheistic faith which looks similar to Islam, but they also believe in reincarnation, which looks similar to Hinduism. So you can say it's a cultural assimilation between Islam and Hinduism, because it's found in northern India, which is in between the Middle East and India. Okay, India predominantly Hindu, Middle East predominantly Islam. You see the cultural assimilation going on here. Some key characteristics here: Sikh men don't cut their hair. So these are the ones that wrap their hair in a turban. That's the reason that they wear a turban. And Sikh people also believe in the 5 Ks. The 5 Ks, which is coming from their language, so it may not sound like Ks to us. But one of the ideas is that the men don't cut their hair. That's one of the Ks. Another one is they carry around a comb to keep the hair clean. Another one is they always carry around with them a sword, which kind of runs into problem with transportation in the United States because it's part of their faith that they have this sword, and so they kind of have ways to get around that. Another one is a bracelet, a metallic bracelet that they wear that's dealing with a kind of the idea of an endless cycle. And then the last K is dealing with baggy shorts that they wear under their clothes, which reminds them of purification, and that's part of their faith. The last slide here, I'm talking about the adherents of the faith, how many there are in the world, and where they live. Christianity, there's about 2.2 billion people, and it's located all over the world, United States and Europe. Predominantly now, you're seeing a huge influx within China itself, and China is probably going to become the world's leading Christian nation here pretty quickly. The next is Islam at 1.6 billion people, mainly found in the Middle East. Also, it's kind of found in some of the other areas, like in Indonesia, which is an island, and because of trade, Islam spreads to Indonesia. The next is Buddhism. It's a little bit less than 1.6 billion people. It's located in East Asia and Southeast Asia. Hinduism is at 1 billion, mainly located in India, like we talked about. Sikhism is at 24 million, mainly in northern India, but you're starting to see a lot of them move to the United States. The next would be Judaism at 13.3 million. Again, a lot of them live in the United States, a lot of them live in Israel, kind of scattered throughout the world. And then the last is animism. We don't really have a figure because it's not a set religion. It's kind of a compilation of some. Some of the predominant areas is the tribal regions of sub-Saharan Africa, Native Americans of history, and then Shintoism in Japan.